Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Off the Tools podcast. We're having some technical issues right now. Andy was meant to do the introduction, but he's disappeared off camera. So I'm going to wing it. So today is why great engineers make bad business owners. That's the discussion point, and something that be interesting to know, like whether you agree or disagree. You know, lots of different people believe that you need that technical knowledge to be a good business owner, and other people believe that you need to being a good engineer doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the good business owner, because you maybe put too much focus and attention onto the technical side, you know, the application, the doing, rather than the running of the business. Hopefully we're going to have Andy join us any second. We are back, and we're back, and we actually have Andy in the room now. Hopefully he will stay in the room. Hopefully he won't just disappear. Right, Andy, I've done your introduction.
It's like Northwest Internet.
It is. I know that the monkeys ain't turning the fucking screws too quickly, are they? Hopefully you can hear us all. This is a bit disjointed now, so we're just going to regroup. Let's take a breath. Let's just regroup, Andy. Today is all about why great engineers make bad business owners. Please elaborate.
So, in a nutshell, the skills that make you a great engineer are a very different set of skills that make you a good business owner, in my opinion. On top of that, the other big thing for me, and this is again, we can talk about this because we've been both full-time engineer only, working for someone else. We've then done the transition period of engineer, running a business while still on the tools, and then obviously moved to being the business owner. So obviously we can talk about this, but it's a very different set of skills to be in, like someone like an engineer, a gas engineer, or electrician, to what it is to be a business owner. You need a zoomed out mindset. The other big thing for me, and I found this at the time, was it was very difficult to move from one side of the fence to the other. If that makes sense. I feel like it requires certain headspace or bandwidth, if you will, to operate in that particular zone. I always found it very hard to, like, go out and service a couple of boilers and then sit down and think about, what's the next strategy to implement for this particular business. So that was the thing for me. And then probably the last big point is that what is it they say, where focus goes, energy flows and results show. So if you are dead set on being the best engineer in your area and you keep pushing further and further and further down that road, you're not going to put your focus into being a better business owner. You're going to be hyper focused, and especially we see a lot with a lot of the old school mindset kind of guys of they think that the secret to being successful in the trades and being, doing well and scaling and growing, a business in whatever form, is to be the best at what they do. And, we challenge that now, don't we? Say, yes, be good. You don't need to be the absolute pinnacle Instagram type engineer where everything's amazing, because unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where your focus is, customers don't appreciate that. They appreciate a good job, yes, but customers don't care if your pipes are 100% spirit level true and polished with Brasso, because they're probably going to box the fuckers in anyway. So you know what I mean?
Or it's going to be in the back of an airing cupboard.
That's obviously just sort of one example, but as we spoke about on the last podcast, things have shifted now in the industry where as much of the value is tied to everything else that wraps around the job itself. We have the same conversation when it comes to hiring. People say, "Oh, I'll not be able to find anyone who can do it as good as me." Well, you probably won't, because it's your business, but ultimately they don't have to be. There's my big points on it.
Mate, I cannot agree more. And I have seen over the years, so many examples where somebody is very quick and eager to invest in their business, right? So they go on training courses, they go on underfloor heating courses, they go on heat pump courses, they pay for qualifications on this and pay for qualifications on that. They pay for these tools and everything, all of these things that they're seeing as assets and they're seeing as an investment in the business. Then we ask them for a few grand to get some software done in their business, and they melt away and disappear like Olaf in a freaking sun strap. You know, it's unbelievable how that they value that technical skill, which is important. You know, I'm not sitting here saying you don't need technical skill. What I'm saying is you don't need technical skill to be a great business owner. Yeah, you need business skill, you need business wisdom, you need business acumen to run a business, and knowing how to install a heat pump to the 1 degree delta C T G whatever units, whatever, ain't gonna help you earn the money. Yes, there are customers that will value that. So granted, you know, there is a niche market out there that will value that expertise, and it will help you win the work if you are absolutely balls deep in the technical side of the business and you know everything and everything. Right. That's not scalable for starters, you know. So straight away, yeah, you'll probably earn a good living, probably have a good reputation, probably go on 4 nice holidays a year. Great. Happy days, you know, great for you. Good luck. That if you're happy, I'm happy. Brilliant. But if you don't want to be doing it when you're 55, 60 years old, if you want to be able to take days off willy-nilly when you want, not be tied to the business every single day, you need to build a business. And if you need to build a business, the technical knowledge actually acts as an anchor, not a wanker, an anchor. All right. And that anchor is only there on skilled tradespeople, right? We all know people that run trades businesses that aren't tradesmen, and they tend to do a better job than 95% of the people that are a trained heating engineer. It looks like maybe we've lost Andy again, so I'm just going to continue down this path in the hope that he comes back in the room. So I'll just boot him off camera for a second. But where was I going with that? Yeah. So there will be people around you that aren't a skilled heating engineer or air conditioning engineer or landscaper or electrician, but they're running a business and they're making a huge success of it. That's because the anchor is removed. You know, they can't get dragged in to the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty. They have to focus on finding solutions. And when you own a van and you are a tradesperson and you can literally jump in that van and just go and do the job and get out of jail free, you don't find the solutions. When you can't do that, guess what? You find solutions, which is why you make a better business owner, because business ownery, if that's even a word, is problem solving. You know, you need to adapt. You need to be able to find solutions to people's problems. And yeah, so I was just catching up with her. So Andy, basically, I've just said that, you know, it acts as an anchor. People that it stops you being a problem solver because you can jump in the van and go and fix the problem. So you don't hire the right people, you don't train the right people, you don't have the systems and the processes in place, because guess what? Big old me can go and fix it. So that's the buck stops. Whereas when you're not that trained engineer, then great. You know, like one of our clients recently has just employed someone, won't mention names just in case it's private, but it finds out that the new engineer has got aircon. Well, what a great asset, because the guy that owns the business hasn't got aircon. So guess what? He ain't going out and fitting the aircon. He ain't going to go out and fix it if it's broken, but he's got a member of staff that is. So he can build and grow in a niche that is new to him, but he can sell it and have the skills within the business that don't tie him to going out to every job.
Yes. 100% agree with that, and I would argue that that anchor can continue for quite some time, even if you've got a few engineers. Obviously, if they've got more or different skills to you, that's different. But I would argue you don't really want to be the best engineer in your business, because again, it becomes that anchor. You know, we've got lads in the group who are really, really good engineers, and they've got some staff. But what happens? They become the technical guy. So you know. Yeah. Maybe at first, you know, but, you know, I was saying to you before that within a short space of time, when I was still on the tools, when I took my lead engineer on, the lad who's now my lead engineer, he was I would say a worse engineer than me, not as good breakdown wise. And then within a short space of time, he became a better engineer than me at the breakdown, because I wasn't pushing myself further forward. Obviously, I was moving towards the business side, and he was driving down that. So that's great. I just want to double back at, as well, what you're saying, mentioned about the ERCON, because this is the real, excuse the pun, hot topic at the minute. Because what I personally, my viewpoint on this is that all of these guys diving into the ERCON game are making that decision as an engineer. Like you said before, it's adding more strings to their bow because they think, oh, I'm quiet in the summer, so I'll get my EF gas and I'll do ERCON and that'll solve the problem. Whereas my take on it from a pure business perspective is, well, there's still more gas boilers out there than there was last year and the year before because they're building more houses. Yes, some of the houses have ERCON. Some, a lot of them have, these newer builds might have a heat pump in it, but they're still fitting more and more gas boilers to new houses. Therefore, there's still a massive market for it. So the engineer in these guys is thinking, shit, well, if I become a better engineer and add another skill set, I'll fill this gap in the summer with ERCON and I'll do the heating work in the winter. Whereas we know, and obviously as we speak to the lads in Alliance, what they should be doing is things like diary manipulation, where you take your winter service, annual service customers out of the winter and move them into the summer, incentivize them with a discount, whatever you need to do, free up that space in the winter, and then you can attack the new customers in the winter. That's a business decision. It's not an engineer's decision. That's not what you would think to do as an engineer. You would think to become, again, better and better, more skill set. I think that's the thing that I'm seeing so much of at the minute, that to me, every time I see that, I just think that's an engineer-based decision. A business owner would go, take a step back and look at the things. Caveat to that, what I'm referencing is the one, maybe two-man bands. If you have a business with 6 engineers, then you add ERCON, it's a different story then, isn't it? Because you're going to grow the business. What I'm talking about is guys who are saying, shit, I'm quiet in the summer. How can I plug this gap? You know what I mean? That's my take on that. ERCON. It's a hot topic at the minute. Like,
very hot topic.
And I think part of the problem is you get deeper and deeper down this trench, really, of the more, we did a podcast. Was it 2 podcasts ago? I think it would have been 2 podcasts ago, not last one before, talking about whether you should hire admin staff or field staff first.
Oh, I think we lost him again. And his internet. I'm going to pause it. We'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. Be right back. And we're back. Andy's internet. I am literally going to drive to Wigan and I'm going to shove it up his ass if this carries on.
Been fine all day.
What a day. I don't know. Maybe it's the metal plate in my ankle throwing the signal off. Who knows? Oh, right. Where were we? So, I've forgotten completely where we were.
Back on track. So, just obviously, I was starting to talk about the podcast, not last one before. I was talking about the hiring an admin person or a field staff.
That's right.
Business decision would generally be to hire the admin staff first. A pure business-focused decision would be the admin staff first, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, the tradesman decision is, I'm too busy. I'm going to get another lad out on the tools, make a bit more money, things like that. So it's situations like that being taking a bit of a step back can make for you to be a better business owner, and then you can drive down that path. Again, there's always a caveat to a lot of things I say. If you're going to then move into that off the admin role and be a bit more off the tools when you take on another engineer, then that's a different story, of course. But this focuses a lot of the time is I'll take another ladder and then we'll both go out and make some money because I've got too much work.
No way is that gone again.
Wrap it up.
Right. you might be listening just as confused as we are. We have no idea.
This is going to be a very broken podcast. Apologies, guys. The software's having a bit of a mad one.
Yeah, Andy's blaming the software. I'm blaming his cheapskate Virgin Internet. Told him to go for Starlink. Hey-ho. Right, yeah, I think just for our sanity, I think you got the gist of what we're saying. It's probably going to be a subject that we revisit, but for now, I think to save us going absolutely batshit crazy, I'm going to draw a line under this episode. Nice, short and sweet. It's summer. You lot are chilling at home or you're on holiday anyway. So I'll let you get on with the rest of your day and we'll see you on the next episode. Any closing words, Andy?
If you want to grow a business, you need to take your focus into becoming a business owner. And that probably means taking some of the focus away from becoming a better tradesman.
On that note, we'll love you and leave you. God bless.
Let's go.